All right, so here's my question. I'm looking at the weekend box office. So in number one, we had How to Train Your Dragon. Domestically, 84 million. Okay, kids movie, huge release, huge opening weekend. Then you had Lilo and Stitch at 15 million. The Materialists at 12 million. Mission Impossible with 10 million. John Wick Ballerina 9.7. And then Karate Kid, Final Destination, a bunch of them. And then all the way down in 15th place is the Unholy Trinity, starring James Bond and Nick Fury. So what I'm trying to figure out is, now again, I'm not in the movie business, but how does a movie like this, Roadside Attractions, a major studio, how can they only get this movie in the 771 theaters while Materialists is in 2,800 theaters? I mean, of course, How to Train Your Dragon, major, 4,300. That's shown everywhere. So I was able, in my area, in the suburbs of Chicago, I was able to find it it was available at a bunch of theaters with 2 or 3 showings in a day, meaning just a puny single theater. Now, even a movie that's not supposed to be so great. Now, again, if you go by the trailer, it's hard to tell how bad of a movie it is, which it is. And if you saw my review, you know why I feel that way. But what I can't figure out is, again, the people like Nerdrotic, the Critical Drinker, Jeremy Johns. Now these are all major critics, and they're not reviewing a film. Granted, it's a Western. Maybe it's not their usual thing, but the Critical Drinker has reviewed Westerns. Nerdrotic. And the thing is, maybe it's a different genre. This is still James Bond, which they're all dorks about, and Nick Fury, who is, a major character, obviously, in the MCU. Okay, so there's a lot of things I'm trying to figure out here about not just why this couldn't get into any theaters. Look, there's a lot of bad movies that are released, and a lot of those bad movies end up in 3-4 thousand theaters for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen this weekend with 28 years later opening, and everything else. Is it going to be gone already? So you have to wonder. Now, maybe I'm just uh, naive. I don't think so. But and so there's probably distribution reasons. You have to pay. What I don't know how much they have to pay to have a movie in theaters, but certainly if you've got buzz around the movie, which maybe it did not have. So I kind of get it, but I would think the star power of having these 2 major Hollywood actors in this movie, stinker that it was, having this just be like a nothing blip on the radar. There were a few reviews. I didn't see if any of mainstream media reviewers or the access media, as it's known. I really didn't even do any research. I'm not really watching that right now. But as far as YouTube, I didn't see any of those honcho type people reviewing it. I know Film Threat did review it, and they were, they were mixed. Where Alan liked it, Chris did not. So, but whatever, and they gave their reasons. But at least they said something about it. I know there are not really a lot of westerns in theatrical release much anymore these days, especially with the dominance of Yellowstone. And there aren't even that many westerns on TV that I'm aware. And I think the last major western release was the Kevin Costner Horizon, which flopped super hard. I think they had to cancel the other movies or something like that, and that was last year. So I mean, I get it, but I'm just wondering to totally ignore it for these major Hollywood actors, in what I guess is probably it's kind of a B movie. It certainly looks like it and performed that way. But so I don't know. Am I missing something? Am I nuts? Please feel free to comment. Why would nobody mention this movie, good, bad, or indifferent? So it just kind of was totally under the radar. Now look, I know there are big movies on the horizon, so you would have think they would have given it a little bit of air, a little bit of light, if nothing else, to potentially uh, mislead people into going to see some of their favorite actors in what is, a god awful movie. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to mention. So again, if you like, if you agree or even if you disagree, subscribe. Feel free to comment. I get it. Maybe you don't want to like, but let's stay connected. Send me a comment. I want to listen to whatever it is you have to say, and I'm going to try to reply to everybody. So that's about it here for the movie Macho today. So we will see you down the road there, and adios. Later. Bye.